Welcome to Cheese Hangouts. I'm Babs Hogan, and I have a very special guest, Ivor Cummins. Thanks for joining us. We are at the Keto Conference in Austin, Texas, and I do want to ask him one little question before we get started. Have you had any barbecue here?
We did yesterday for lunch, actually.
Was it good?
Oh, it was a rib. I think it was around a
Yeah.
pound or more of meat on a single rib. It was delicious.
Must have been a big cow
Yeah.
or beast.
Mm.
Okay, so Ivor is the creator of fatemperor.com, and I've learned so much from him on that from that website. But I really wanted to just mention the YouTube channel and YouTube presentations, which are awesome. So I mentioned that we are in Ketocon in Austin, and you did 2 presentations.
Yeah, we did a VIP breakout room menu Q&A on my main presentation this morning, yeah. So all went good.
Good.
I think people enjoyed it.
Good. Okay, so you'll notice on the table that we have a cheese plate, and we've got, this is Pedroso cheese from California. Notice how dark the yellow cheese is. It's great. And then this is from Brazos Valley in Texas. So when you're ready, you can snack on that.
Okay.
Okay, so now let's talk about the book. Ivor and Dr. Jeffrey Gerber have written this new book called Eat Rich and Live Long. And if you are not a robot, I want you to read the book because it's really important. So congratulations on that.
Thanks, Babs.
Yeah. Okay, so I have 4 keywords that I'm going to just throw out at Ivor, and he's going to respond. And the first one is pure.
Pure, P-U-R-E in capitals, yes, the Pure study. So that was done really only in the last year. The results came out, and they covered well over 100,000 people in 18 countries. And they looked at what they were eating and all their blood tests and cholesterol and metrics and whether they lived or died, got ill. And it was basically a supercharged, massively better version of the original Ansel Keys 7-country study.
Yes.
So you'll probably recall Ansel Keys 7 countries cherry-picked the countries. It only had 12,000 men, no women, and it came out supposedly that saturated fat was bad, and the carb was fine, and the sugar was fine. Pure, however, done with modern methods, 18 countries instead of 7, 150,000 men and women instead of 12,000 men, has come out with the opposite conclusion. So a way better study, huge team of professors out of Canada, and they've discovered that higher carbohydrate links to higher mortality, and higher fat, if anything, links to lower stroke mortality, and general trends towards better health. So I think Pure has overturned completely the old science that they're still using to implicate fat in health. So it was a great study and a great leadership. I think it was Professor Salim Youssef,
Yes.
who did that with a big
I'm a
team.
big fan of his. I've been following him. He's amazing.
He's a great guy.
Yeah.
I met him in Zurich there the other day,
Yes.
and I've sent him on some papers, which I think
good.
he'll be interested in. And
You know, I noticed that you were there, but I didn't see you presenting.
yeah, they had a fairly narrow group of presenters arranged quite a while ago, and I also had other things on. But I was glad to drop in and just meet and greet and be there. It's a very important conference.
Oh, I know. I loved it. I recorded a lot of the sessions, actually. Oh, okay, so the second one is satiety.
Satiety. So satiety is so important in the foods we eat, and one of the major problems we have with foods is we know the calories in, calories out model is false. I mean, to a certain extent, what you eat, the amount of calories you eat is important. If you pack in a lot of calories, you will tend to put on weight. But the problem is, why are you packing in the calories? And here's where, in the book, we explain that different types of foods have very different effects on your satiety. So if you eat a low-carb, moderate protein, high-quality protein, and high healthy fat diet, your satiety will be dramatically better after you adapt to that diet than with your classic high-carb Western diet. And it will mean you are enabled to eat less, comfortably eat less. You can enjoy fasting as a performance enhancer. You can't do that on a high-carb diet. And satiety enables you to live like our ancestors, i.e. not be fat. So it's hugely important. So higher protein gives satiety, high healthy fats with nutrient-dense content, all promotes satiety, and switching your body to a fat burner type physiology will promote satiety. So when you are not eating, your body can flawlessly burn your own body fat and keep your hunger under control. Whereas the carb eaters, especially refined carb, they need to keep getting a fix to keep their energy alive. So it's a huge thing, satiety, in this whole obesity, diabetes
no doubt.
epidemic.
I think that the main theme in his book is centered around insulin, and I just want to throw that one out because I think it's extremely important. Do you agree that it's the largest theme in your book?
Yes, there are many themes. It's a multifactorial problem, health and longevity, but insulin keeps a central place. And I guess the reason is, at the moment we face a situation where my most recent data from the Center of Disease Control in the US, top authority, is that around 65% of adults above 45 years of age are now pre-diabetic or diabetic, which is diabetic.
Yes.
Pre-diabetic is there to confuse people. They are diabetic. So when 2/3 of your population over 45 is essentially diabetic, you've got a catastrophic hyperinsulinemia situation.
Right.
And we know that hyperinsulinemia and the hyperinsulinemic syndrome is at the root of most modern chronic diseases. And we know that 2/3 of our adult population has it, probably much more if you measure their insulin. The 2/3 was just for measuring glucose, which is late stage measure. So to an engineer, this is insane that we've got this insulin issue linked to all these modern diseases, and generally they're not measuring insulin as a standard laboratory measure. So we explain all of that about insulin, post-meal insulin, and how it works in the body, and why it's so crucially important to stay healthy for a long time is to have lower insulin and great insulin signaling.
I did read Dr. Kraft's book, and I'm so glad that you recommended it because it really shows a different light on the whole insulin and glucose situation. Okay, last one. Ready?
Yeah.
Inflammation.
Inflammation. Well, inflammation it doesn't so much cause disease in itself. Inflammation is the body's reaction to an insult. Now, the inflammatory processes that occur when you have an insult to your physiology, to your body, can run out of control a little and cause damage themselves. But the real problem in inflammation is, why are you inflamed? What is causing the inflammation? So we would look more at the causes. So chronic exposure to refined carbohydrate and to vegetable oils, seed oils, particularly the combination, is going to predispose you to an inflammatory state. But those components will also raise your insulin, they will raise your GIP and your gut hormones, they will cause your fat cells, your adipocytes, to expand to the point that the insulin signaling no longer works properly in your fat cells. And those components you should not be eating cause a lot of pathways that directly lead to disease. They also cause the inflammation that your body's defense system, trying to manage the problem, can have knock-on damage to your body as well. So it's not the inflammation doing all the damage, it's this seething hot pot of putting wrong things into the machine cause your immune system and directly cause your tissues to be under attack. And that's the root cause of heart disease and many modern diseases. And most of the problem comes in your mouth. Although pollution, environmental pollution, lack of sleep, lack of exercise, and stress can all have effects that disturb the hormonal balance in such a way as you end up with this vascular distress and disease. So lots of factors, but inflammation is a great thing to track. If you're low insulin and low inflammation, that's a hugely good place to be.
All right. Okay, well, I'm glad that you had the opportunity to come to Texas. I hope we have treated you well, and hopefully.
Absolutely.
Good.
Fantastic.
And so you're on your way to San Diego, is that correct?
I am. I'm back to Dublin tomorrow, but I'll be going to the Ancestral Health Symposium in Montana at the end of the month. then across to Keto Fest to New York, and then across to San Diego to low
zigzag.
carb. Yeah, and then Las Vegas to do an interview, and then back to Ireland. So the end of July will be a busy trip.
Oh, wow, he's a busy man. Okay, well, thank you so much, Ivor, it's been a pleasure.
Thanks a lot, Babs.
Good
I'm
luck.
delighted to meet you at last.
And now it's time for cheese. Great cheese from Northern California. This is the garlic. This is just the plain, right?
Yeah.
And plain's nice and rich.
Yeah, yeah, it is. Doesn't it feel,
Oh, it is. There's a zing to it as well.
got cinnamon and sorghum juice
Oh.
and vanilla.
Vanilla.
They
rubbed
they
on the
wash it
outside.
wash it on the outside. So
But
you-
it doesn't jump out
No.
as flavoured like that does. It's
Horse
more like
radish,
you know.
pecan, yeah.
Oh, horseradish can be quite strong. Not too strong here though,
Yeah.
but I got the taste of the horseradish. Yeah,
Yeah.
I got that certain taste. There's a little zing in it.
Yeah,